What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Urs Bonac and his post-Olympia physique update. Now if what Urs Bonac says is true, that his current coach, Stefan, he knows his game better than any other coach out there, then you better believe him. Because Urs Bonac did a total of 4 shows this year, and his blood work, that came out positive after the Olympia this year. Now Martin-Fitzwater had similar things to say about his coach when he announced that is going for Prague. So boss of Outlaw, he definitely knows his stuff. And the man knows what he is doing. Now with Urs Bonac's blood work coming out positive, that only means one thing, that this is gonna be an early start for Urs Bonac as far as 2025 is concerned. Now Urs Bonac was able to beat Barros Tabani at Emperor Classic Spain, as well as Michael Crizo. Now he convincingly beat Nathan Diasha in Dubai. And the Olympia was the best out of all of them. Because the man was able to beat so many guys, so many great bodybuilders, guys that he just wasn't supposed to beat, like Rafael Brandel and the former Miss Olympia Brennan Curry. Because the thing is, we kept on hearing throughout this year that he had a wider waist now, and he's gonna be exposed in a lot of front shots against all of the top guys. But we know Urs Bonac has been one of the most consistent guys when it comes to perfectly peaking for any of the shows that he enters. And that has been the trend with Urs Bonac in all of these shows in the last decade or so. And that paid off here as well. So top 7 at the Olympia this year, which is 2 places higher than his last Olympia 2022. And that I have to say is a massive success for him. Now Urs Bonac is ready to do multiple shows in 2025. And if he continues to improve and keeps on beating all of these young up and coming guys, then there is just no need for him to retire. Because this is a very good time to be an open bodybuilder, because all of these guys, they can make some very good money just by doing all of these shows. So next up we have some more training updates of the 2 times former Miss Olympia, Big Ramy, thanks to Muhammad Mohsen, aka Coach Body, because he is the only one who posts Big Ramy's recent stories and his training updates on his Instagram. Now if we take a look at the Olympia qualified athletes for next year, you won't find Big Ramy's name in there. So the thing is, he has to officially tell the higher-ups that he intends to get back on the Olympia stage. Because the thing is, nowhere did Big Ramy ever say that he is retired, and as a champion of the Olympia, not once but twice, he is qualified for Miss Olympia for life. And not seeing his name, that might mean that Big Ramy has already told them that he won't be coming back to that stage. Now some people will say that Big Ramy has been holding on to some great size, and that too really well. Yes, he looks pretty damn impressive, but you guys really need to go back and watch one of his training videos from his Olympia prep to really appreciate the true size of him and how massive he really was. Now I personally do not think that Big Ramy's physique that got truly appreciated the way it should have been, and the reason of course was Phil Heath, who was just too damn impressive for any of the competition at that time. And even Big Ramy, with all the size that he had, he lacked that quality, especially in comparison to Phil Heath. And it is kinda too bad for Big Ramy, because when he finally nailed it, when he finally put it all together, he was just too close to having some of those injuries, especially the atrophy in his back and his triceps, which just made him so damn vulnerable. So do you guys think Big Ramy getting any bigger than 2014? That was a huge mistake, because even back in 2014, he was already so massive. That physique back in 2014, that was such a great combination of size and aesthetics, and he had such a small waistline, and that really started to get wider after he started to put on more size after the Olympia 2014. So Martin-Fitzwater giving Chris Bumstead all the respect that he deserved after beating him in Prague, which happened this past weekend. If anything, we should be so thankful to Martin-Fitzwater for playing some part in convincing cbum to do this Prague Pro in the men's open bodybuilding, because these pictures and comparisons, they are gonna last for a lifetime. Now I have got to say what Martin has achieved just at the age of 27, that is just so damn exceptional. Top 4 in the world, winning shows all around the world, and if you look at his physique, what is he missing really? Because the thing is, I do not think he is missing anything. And unlike some other short guys who lack the shape and aesthetics, Martin has tremendous shape and flow. And the only thing that can hinder him from moving up the ranks in the future is that if he tries to put on size way too fast and he ends up blowing his waistline, he ends up ruining his classic lines and his midsection, which I'm sure he knows better than all of us, and which is something that he doesn't intend to do, for the Pittsburgh Pro at least. He won't have a big off-season anyways, so the chances of him ruining his lines, they are very little at this point, because he's gonna be dieting for most part of the year. Now Ron Harris made a very interesting comment under the latest post of Martin, the first person to beat Chris Bumstead in 7 years, and also the last person who is gonna beat cbum, that is gonna be Martin-Fitzwater. Now I know the fans wanna see Chris Bumstead make a comeback after a few years, but the chances of that happening, they are almost zero. Look at the career of 8 times Miss Olympia Lee Haney, retired at 31, and we never saw him again. So with Martin-Fitzwater, who had the most successful year of his professional career this year, just at the age of 27, one cannot even imagine how he is gonna look like when he is 30 and what the future holds for him if he continues to improve, if he continues to get better. Next up, we have the post-Olympia physique update of Urs Bonac. So we are already 6 weeks past this year's Miss Olympia, and the only reason Urs gave for not doing Prague Pro in the men's open class, it was that he wanted to get healthy. While looking at his current physique, it seems like he stayed in a phenomenal condition, in a superb shape, even in the health and recovery phase. Now the thing is, before this year's Miss Olympia, we all doubted Urs Bonac, especially going into this year's Olympia prep, because he did not do that well at the Arnold earlier this year. But the improvements that he was able to make throughout his physique, especially from the back, while having to make that weight cutoff with the weight cap hanging over his head, they were just so damn unbelievable. And he really put himself back on the map, and nobody's gonna really count him out for the Olympia next year, because he is a potential classic physique Olympia title contender. And I don't think anyone is gonna disagree with that. And I would even argue that Urs has the closest shape to Chris Bumstead, and both these guys had kind of similar heights. So it is all about Urs. Keep on evolving and maybe take cbum's advice and not do any show in 2025, as he is top 3. So that makes him automatically qualified for the Olympia next year. So he just needs to focus on doing the Olympia next year and potentially win that show and be the first only man to be the classic physique Miss Olympia ever since this division was created.
He looks better here than he's ever looked.
Yes,
last year.
for sure. For sure.
Is that?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
He looks better.
Classic, he looks stripped down.
Yes.
Yes.
This
He
is.
doesn't.
This is.
2022. Yeah, 2022. I think he's my favorite look.
The legend and the 4 times Miss Olympia Jay Cutler, he really appreciated Chris Bumstead doing his famous quad stomp on the stage at his very last show at this year's Prague just this past weekend. So is there anyone else who tried to recreate that famous quad stomp on the stage after 2009? Because I for one cannot really remember if anyone else has done that since 2009, because that was such a monumental moment in the bodybuilding history. And I think we can all agree that was such a great moment for Chris Bumstead as well. So do you guys agree that cbum's look at this year's Prague, that was his all-time best? This was the most impressive version of Chris Bumstead.
What I've seen, I can tell you this is better than the Mr. Olympia this year. This is better than him winning Classic Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it was certainly better than classic physique, especially from this past Miss Olympia. He had more size, more fullness, with pretty much same conditioning as he had at the Olympia this year. But that being said, I have to say, if we look back at his Olympia 2022 look, that was just so damn untouchable. That, I think, was his all-time best. And even cbum himself said that he wanted to beat that look in 2024, but he just couldn't. So throughout this hype train, before Prague, most media outlets, they were all using the pictures and videos of Chris from the Olympia 2022 prep, because that was truly unbeatable.
I mean, what does an Urs think, or a Ramon think, or Mike the Badass when they see this?
Man,
I'm shocked Mike the Badass didn't jump in this show just for...
Mike the Badass has a chance.
So, which look of cbum do you guys prefer? 2022 Classic Physique or 2024 Prod Pro? Do let me know in the comments below. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.